I've been driving long-haul trucks across America for 18 years. 18 years of endless highways, 18 years of truck stops and diesel fumes, 18 years of being alone with nothing but the road and the radio and my own thoughts. It's good money, steady work, the kind of job where you can disappear into the routine and forget about everything else in your life. My dispatcher gave me the rules on my first day. Standard stuff, mostly weight, limits, rest requirements, speed regulations. But at the end of my orientation, he handed me a single piece of paper, handwritten, stained with coffee rings and what looked like dried rain. Rules for long-haul drivers. Interstate 80, Rule 1. Never drive more than 12 hours without rest. Fatigue kills more truckers than accidents. Rule 2. If your cab radio picks up children singing, change channels immediately. Rule 3. Do not stop at rest. Areas marked with red paint on the entrance signs. Rule 4. If you see another truck flashing its lights at you in a pattern of 3 long, 2 short, pull over and inspect your vehicle immediately. Rule 5. Never make eye contact with other drivers at truck stops between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. And then Rule 6, written in red ink at the bottom. Rule 6. Never pick up hitchhikers in the rain, no matter how desperate they look, no matter how much they beg, no matter if they're injured or elderly or children. If it's raining and someone is trying to flag you down, drive past. Do not stop. Do not look back. Do not acknowledge their existence. I followed those rules for 18 years. Saw some strange things on the road, heard weird transmissions on the Saab, encountered situations that made me grateful for the protocols, but I never understood. Rule 6. Never saw a hitchhiker in the rain. Never had to make that choice. Until 3 nights ago, I was hauling a load of frozen food from Chicago to Portland, 3,200 miles, 4 days of driving. I was on day 3 somewhere in Montana on Interstate 90 when the rain started. Not a drizzle, not a normal rainstorm. A deluge. The kind of rain that turns highways into rivers. The kind that makes your windshield wipers useless even on the highest setting. The kind that makes you pray you don't hydroplane into a ditch. I slowed down to 40 miles per hour, turned on my hazard lights, gripped the wheel with both hands, and focused on keeping my 18-wheeler on the road. The rain hammered against my cab. Thunder rolled across the empty Montana landscape, and visibility dropped to maybe 50 feet. That's when I saw him, a figure on the side of the road, standing in the downpour, wearing what looked like a dark coat, one arm raised, thumb out, the universal sign for a hitchhiker. I remembered Rule 6 immediately. Never pick up hitchhikers in the rain. I kept my foot steady on the accelerator, kept my eyes forward, started to drive past, but then I saw his face in my headlights. An old man, maybe 70, maybe 80. His clothes were soaked through, his skin was pale, and he was shaking. Violent tremors from hypothermia. He looked directly at me, made eye contact, and his expression was pure desperation, pure terror, like he knew something I didn't, like being out in that rain was worse than death. I should have kept driving, should have followed the rules, should have trusted the protocols that kept truckers safe for decades. But I didn't, because 18 years of following rules made me forget why rules exist, made me think I knew better, made me believe I could help. I pulled over, hit my air brakes, watched in my side mirror as the old man stumbled toward my truck. His movements were wrong, too stiff, too mechanical, like his joints didn't bend properly, like something was controlling his body from the outside. He reached my passenger door, knocked 3 times, and when I looked at his face through the window, I saw something that made my stomach drop. He was still shaking, still trembling, but his eyes weren't moving. They were fixed, staring at nothing, completely still while the rest of his body convulsed. I almost drove away, almost left him there, but then he spoke. his voice muffled through the door, but clear enough to understand. "Please, you have to help me. I've been out here for hours. I'm so cold, so tired. Please let me in." I unlocked the door. It was the biggest mistake of my life. He climbed into my cab with movements that were too smooth, too fluid, like he wasn't actually cold at all. Like the shaking and the trembling were just a performance. He sat in my passenger seat, water dripping from his clothes, creating puddles on my floor mat, and he smiled at me. "Thank you. You saved my life. Most truckers just drive past. Most people don't stop anymore. They know the rules, but you stopped. You helped. You're a good man." Something in the way he said that made my skin crawl, like being a good man was a weakness, like stopping to help was the worst thing I could have done. I put the truck in gear, started driving. The rain continued to hammer against my windshield, and I tried to make conversation, tried to ignore the feeling that something was very wrong. "What were you doing out there? It's dangerous to hitchhike in weather like this." He didn't answer immediately, just sat there, water dripping, that smile fixed on his face. And when he finally spoke, his voice was different, deeper, older, like it came from somewhere far away. I was waiting. I've been waiting for a long time, waiting for someone to break the rules, waiting for someone to stop, waiting for someone like you. My hands tightened on the wheel. "What do you mean?" "You know what I mean? You've had the rules. You've followed them for years, but tonight you broke Rule 6. You picked up the hitchhiker in the rain, and now I'm here, and I'm going to show you why that rule exists." I glanced at him. His clothes were already dry, completely dry, like he'd never been in the rain at all, and his skin was wrong, too smooth, too perfect, like it was made of wax or plastic or something that only looked like human skin. Get out of my truck right now." He laughed. It sounded like wind chimes in a graveyard, like metal scraping against bone, like something that had learned to mimic laughter but didn't understand what made it human. "I can't do that. Because you let me in. You invited me. You broke the rules. And now we're connected. Now you're mine. Now you get to learn what happens to truckers who pick up hitchhikers in the rain." I hit the brakes. The truck skidded on the wet pavement, nearly jackknifed, but I got it under control, pulled onto the shoulder, threw the transmission into park, and I turned to face him. "Whatever you are, you need to leave. Now." He tilted his head. The movement was wrong, too far. His neck bent at an angle that would break a human spine, and his eyes finally moved, focused on me, and they were black, completely black. No whites, no irises, just darkness that went down forever. I'm a collector. That's what I am. I collect truckers who break Rule 6. I've been doing it since before interstate highways existed, since before trucks had engines, since wagons rolled on dirt roads and drivers gave rides to strangers in storms. And I take them somewhere special, somewhere they can drive forever, somewhere the road never ends, and the rain never stops, and they never reach their destination. I grabbed my door handle, tried to open it, but the door wouldn't move. Locked, sealed, like something had fused the metal shut. I tried the window. It wouldn't open either. I was trapped in my own cab with something that wore an old man's face but wasn't human, wasn't even alive, was just darkness pretending to be flesh. You can't escape. No one escapes. Every trucker who breaks Rule 6 ends up the same way, driving forever, delivering loads that don't exist, following roads that lead nowhere, becoming part of the collection, part of the endless highway, part of me. The rain outside intensified, became louder, and I realized the sound wasn't just rain anymore. It was voices, hundreds of them, thousands of them, all speaking at once, all saying the same thing. We broke Rule 6. We stopped in the rain. We picked up the hitchhiker, and now we drive forever. Join us. Join the collection. Join the endless road. I tried to start the truck, tried to drive away, but the engine wouldn't turn over. The dashboard lights flickered, and on my keyed radio, I heard it. Static at first, then voices. Truckers calling for help. Truckers describing the same thing I was experiencing. Truckers who'd picked up the hitchhiker in the rain. All of them trapped. All of them driving. All of them never arriving. The old man leaned closer. His breath smelled like diesel fuel and rotting meat, and something older than both. Something that existed before humans learned to travel, before we built roads, before we created rules to protect ourselves from things we don't understand. You're going to join them now. You're going to become part of the collection. You're going to drive Interstate 80 forever, hauling loads that don't exist, passing towns that aren't real, seeing other truckers who broke the rules, and you'll try to warn them. You'll flash your lights. You'll radio them. You'll do everything you can to make them understand, but they won't listen because everyone thinks they're the exception. Everyone thinks they can help. Everyone breaks Rule 6. Eventually, my vision started to blur. The cab filled with fog, cold fog that smelled like rain and asphalt and decades of diesel exhaust. And through the fog, I saw them. Other trucks, dozens of them, hundreds of them, all driving in formation, all heading nowhere, all driven by men and women with blank expressions and dead eyes, and the same realization I was having. We're not on the road anymore. We're in the road. We're part of it. We are the highway. We are the endless journey. We are the warning that no one heeds. I don't remember when my truck started moving again. Don't remember deciding to drive. Don't remember anything except the feeling of my hands on the wheel and my foot on the accelerator and the road stretching out forever in front of me. Always raining, always dark, always leading nowhere. The old man is gone now. Or maybe he's still here. Maybe he's in the passenger seat. Maybe he's in every passenger seat of every truck in this endless convoy. Maybe he's the road itself. Maybe he's the rain. Maybe he's the rule. We all eventually break. I've been driving for 3 days now, or maybe 3 years, or maybe 3 decades. Time doesn't work the same here, on the endless highway, in the collection, where truckers who broke Rule 6 come to learn why rules exist. I see other trucks sometimes, real trucks from the real world. I try to warn them, flash my lights in that pattern. 3 long, 2 short. The signal that something is wrong, that they need to inspect their vehicle, that they need to be careful, but they never stop, never check, never understand. And sometimes, when it's raining really hard, when visibility drops and the highway becomes treacherous, I see them pull over, see them stop for a hitchhiker standing in the downpour, see them make the same mistake I made, see them let something into their cab that should never be invited, see them join the collection. There are so many of us now, so many trucks driving this endless road, so many drivers who thought they knew better, who thought they could help, who thought one exception wouldn't hurt, who broke Rule 6 and learned why it existed. I'm writing this on a piece of paper I found in my glove box. Don't know who'll read it, don't know if anyone will, but I need to try, need to warn someone, need to make sure my mistake means something. If you're a truck driver, if you work the long-haul routes, if you've been given the rules, follow them, all of them, especially Rule 6, because the hitchhiker in the rain isn't a person, isn't someone who needs help, is something older, something patient, something that's been collecting drivers since before we had a name for what it does. And if you see me out there, if you see my truck in your mirrors, if you see me flashing my lights in that warning pattern, if you see me trying to tell you something, listen, understand, learn from my mistake. Don't stop in the rain. Don't help the hitchhiker. Don't break Rule 6. because the road goes on forever. The rain never stops. And once you're part of the collection, once you've joined the endless convoy, once you've become part of the highway itself, there's no destination, no delivery, no end, just driving forever, following rules you broke, wishing you could warn others, knowing they won't listen. The rain is getting heavier now. I see another truck ahead, pulling onto the shoulder, stopping for someone standing in the downpour. And I know what's about to happen. No, they're about to make the same choice I made. No, they're about to join us. I flash my lights. 3 long, 2 short. But they don't see, don't care, don't understand. They're opening their door. They're letting something in. They're breaking Rule 6. And the collection grows. The convoy gets longer. The highway extends further. And the rain never stops. Never stops. Never stops. I'm so tired of driving. So tired of rain. So tired of following a road that leads nowhere. But I can't stop. Can't rest. Can't ever arrive. Because this is what happens when you break Rule 6. This is what happens when you pick up the hitchhiker in the rain. This is what happens when you think you know better than the rules. If you're reading this, if you found this paper somehow, if you're thinking about becoming a truck driver, remember me. Remember my mistake. Remember that some rules exist for reasons we can't understand until it's too late to follow them. Never pick up the hitchhiker in the rain, no matter what, no matter who, no matter how desperate they look. Just drive. Keep driving. Follow the rules. Reach your destination. Go home to your family. Live your life. Don't end up like me. Don't end up on the endless highway. Don't become part of the collection. The rain continues. The road continues. And I continue forever. Always driving. Never arriving. Always raining. Never stopping. Always regretting. Never escaping. See you on the highway. See you in the rain. See you when you break Rule 6. See you in the collection. Still driving. Still raining. Still forever.